to show you how I make a cute little sign using Dollar Tree products. You're going to need one of these chalkboard tags. I did take the strings out. I am going to keep the strings because I may want to use them later. So I'm just going to take this, I think it's folk art paint. Let's see, folk art and titanium white, yes. And I'm going to paint all my little chalkboard tags using my paint tray, also from Dollar Tree. I'm going to paint them all white, and they were very easy to paint, and they did not take long to dry at all, but it did take me about 3 coats. If you were using a chalk paint, it might only get by with 1, but it did take me 3 coats to get them fully covered. And I'm only going to use 1 in this project, but I went ahead and painted them all because I knew that I was going to use them eventually and I would want them white, and it is paint. If we need a different color, we can always cover it up. Now, once I get all of my little tags painted, I'm going to set them to the side. And now I have some wrapping paper that was literally free to me. I got it from the Reno property. They were actually going to throw it away. I was like, nope, I could use it for Christmas. So I'm taking my little sign, and I'm just kind of, I'm not doing an exact measurement. I'm just kind of getting a rough idea just so I can cut me some paper out. And I'm going to put it over my sign. So I'm just making sure that I've got it cut where it would cover it completely. I don't want any of the white showing from the sign behind it, I'm sorry. So I'm just making sure it'll cover. And it does. Once I'm happy with that, I'm just showing you, this is the sign. You just pop the back out, and it's that simple. Just cut your paper to measure, to fit, and it's that simple. So now I'm gonna take my Mod Podge, and I'm going to Mod Podge my wrapping paper onto my sign. At this point, I realized I probably need to put something underneath this because I'm getting Mod Podge everywhere. And I just have this old mat that I no longer use for my cameo. I just kind of, as you can tell, I use it to paint stuff on. So that's what I'm doing. So now I'm going to take my wrapping paper that I've cut to size, and I'm just going to put it on top and just smooth it out the best I can with my hands. It's not going to matter that it's not perfectly smooth, and honestly, I think it just makes it look a little bit better when it's not, but you're not really going to be able to see any of the wrinkles. But I am doing the best that I can to get it all smooth. And then once I've got it as smooth as I can, then I'm also going to take my Mod Podge and go over the top of it with my Mod Podge. Give me a thumbs up if I'm not the only one that crafts in my pajamas. Y'all, it is so hard for me to like get dressed to do crafts. I want to be comfy and cozy. And there's so many times that I would literally film a video if I didn't look like death warmed over in my pajamas and no makeup and hair piled on top of my head. But am I the only one? Let me know in the comment section below if you like to do crafts in your pajamas. Now this is a little frame. I'm going to use this chalkboard paint. That's all I had, really. I'm not sure if this is the reason why you'll see in a minute the paint job didn't turn out the best. I don't know if it was the paint or the frame material, but I'm starting to put a coat of paint on it, and then I don't know if you can tell just yet what the paint's doing, but it's not covering and it's just separating really bad. Yeah, I mean, what is the deal with that? So I decided that I was going to wipe that off, And then I'm going to go over it. I have some sandpaper, and I'm just going to kind of sand it down and see if I can get maybe the shiny, plasticky cover off of it, and then try it again. Okay, let's try this again. Take 2. Okay, as I'm painting this, and I'm still seeing that it's still doing it, but not as bad, and I'm thinking, okay, let me go ahead and get one coat on this, and then maybe the second coat will cover it up. And so I think I ended up putting maybe 2.5 coats on it, and it didn't completely cover it, but in the end, you'll see it worked out okay because, I mean, I was probably going to go in there and distress it anyway. So it basically just did it for me and saved me a step. So win-win for me. I know, it's looking a hot mess, but I left this in because I wanted y'all to see that, you know, sometimes you have to like work with different ideas you have because it doesn't always pan out the first time the way you want it, but I'm gonna set it to the side and I'm gonna let it dry. Yeah, that's a little bit too distressed for me, but in the end, it does work out. But, you know, just be prepared when you're crafting. I'm sure you all know sometimes you just have to critique your ideas, but it works out in the end. After all, it's just crafts, y'all. It's not that serious. Now, as you can see, after multiple, like 2.5 coats, this is what it ended up looking like. And that little bit of distressing, I'm okay with that. It saved me the time. So it worked out in the end. So now I'm just going to pop my little Mod Podge wrapping paper covered sign back in. This takes a little bit of effort. Don't know what was going on here, but I get it in, and that's all that matters, right? I mean, there for a minute, that sign was kicking my butt, but I win, yay, and that's what it looks like. Isn't that cute? I mean, that's cute as is, and there's so many options that you could do with this. So I'm just going to show you one option that I chose to do, and I hope you like it. Now, earlier I had cut out several different little Christmas words with my Cameo, and I chose to use Merry, and I did it in the skinny, which is, you know, looks like Ray Dunn, which is all the rage right now. So I'm just getting my sticker ready, and I'm going to put it on one of those little chalkboard tags that we painted earlier white. I'm just going to, you know, line it up the best I can. And it looks like we have a cute little ornament that says Merry, and the Ray, it looks like a Ray Dunn ornament. Isn't that cute? So now I'm going to take the little square blocks that you can get from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. And I started out, I was just going to do 2, one on each side of the back, because I want it to kind of like be a 3D effect on my little sign. So I started off with 2. And then I'm just going to kind of lay it down and look at it and see what I think about it. But can you see at the top and where it was kind of like caving in backwards? I didn't like that. So I ended up going back and adding 2 more little blocks to the top and the bottom of it just to kind of make it all straight. Does that make sense? You can see what I'm doing. Yes, that looks much better. I like that so much better. So now I'm just going to glue all that down to my little sign. And I think it's going to be so cute. Now I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I just kind of eyeballed it in there. I'm just going to kind of hold it down and let it dry. And I love the 3D effect those little blocks give this little chalkboard tag. I mean, it's so cute. Now, we got to spruce it up a little bit. I'm realizing it's missing something. It's cute like that, but we got to do a little extra to it. So I have these little bitty mini pine cones I thought about I wanted to use. You can see I'm studying it. But then I decided I was going to make a wreath. I remembered these little garland tags, branches, whatever they are, from Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to make me a little wreath out of it. And I think that's just going to make it look so cute and Christmassy. As if the wrapping paper doesn't already make it look Christmassy. I love this plaid. So now I'm just kind of measuring it, getting the size that my wreath needs to be. And I'm just going to make me a little wreath out of it. Very simple to do. That's the good thing about these little, I can't remember what they're called, but you can customize size wreaths that you need. So I lay it in there to make sure my size is right, and then I've decided I'm going to add one more of those little, the word escapes me, y'all. I'll put it up here on the screen somewhere, but just kind of beef it up a little bit, make it a little bit thicker, more substantial. Kind of mold it and shape it, and then I'm going to put it down to see where I want to glue it, which side I want to be the top, the bottom, you know, all that jazz. So now I'm just going to glue it down. Now I will say, for whatever reason, I don't know what the problem was, and I'm using Gorilla Glue sticks. I had the hardest time getting this to glue down. It took me a little while. I'd cut out some of it out with me holding it because I had to really hold it for a little while. But there it is. And now I'm going to play with the little pine cones and try to incorporate them because y'all know me and these pine cones this year. What is the deal, Donna? So I decided I'm just going to use like 3 of the miniature pine cones. Also from the Dollar Tree, and they're actually cinnamon scented. But they're not overpowering. Like if I wouldn't have told you, you wouldn't know, really. Unless you have a bunch of them together. So I'm just hot gluing those on. That little pine cone, I didn't like it. I think I ended up changing it out for a different pine cone. I'm just going to kind of hold that down a little bit. And then I'm going to take these red berries I'm so glad I picked up from Dollar Tree in my previous haul. I wasn't really sure what I was going to use them for, but they come in perfect for this. So I just pulled them off their little stem, and I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue. And I'm just going to decorate my wreath. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. And while you're here, if you wouldn't mind, please hit that little red subscribe button and stick around with us. And if you have an Instagram account, I would love for you to come follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to be a little more active over there, and I would love to connect with you on Instagram as well. As you can see, these little red berries just made this, in my opinion. I just am loving the way it's coming out. I don't know, it just screams Christmas to me, and I'm just loving it. after I admire my handiwork, this is the end result, and I just love it. I've paired it with 2 little trees here, and then I put it in a separate little vignette, and I think it's perfect. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope y'all have a great day. Bye, y'all.